So let's talk about map editing. First, let's create a new game. So we're gonna go to Make Game, and I'm gonna click on Create a New Game, and we're gonna start with a deathmatch template, just so we have a unit that we can move around and explore the map with. So this is the default map for the deathmatch game. And in this map, so we have a built-in map editor where you can actually use the brush and draw stuff on it in it, and you can save it. And to explore the map in game, you're gonna have to publish the game, and the game is being published, just like this. And there you go. You are now playing in the map that you just created. By the way, this stuff here is just for developers. I'll tell you guys more about it in the future tutorial videos. But yeah, so here's the map. And now our map editor is okay. You can do stuff like, you can draw, as you can see, use the brush and apply different textures. You can use the paint tool and do stuff like this. You can change the layers. So we can make walls, for example, like this. Oops, no, we don't want to paint the wall. It's not good. So actually, we don't have a function built for deleting all the tiles. So we are in a bit of a trouble here. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and refresh the page. Okay, there you go. So we're back to where we last saved. Going back, our tool is somewhat limited because it's still under construction, but I would love to get you to use this other tool, which is amazing. It's called Tiled. Let me show you. So let's go to Google, and we are gonna search for Tiled. And yeah, so this is a Tiled map editor. Unfortunately, right at this very moment, I think their website is down. But you can still download the software by going to itch.io, which is a great website for downloading games and game assets. And you can click on download now. Now the software is free. You can donate the money if you want, or you can just say no thanks, just take me to the downloads. And depending on what operating system you're using, click on the download button and you can go ahead and download it. And the software would look something like this when you open it. And now the next step is to import the map you have in mod.io, which is this map, into Tiled. So how do we do that? We go to settings in mod.io map, and then we're gonna go to the upload tiled JSON tab. And here you can actually see that the raw, the file data, which we're gonna select all, and then we're gonna copy. And we're gonna use a text editor. So you can use like Notepad or TextPad or whatnot. Okay, let me open a new file. Okay, so here's an empty text that I'm gonna just go ahead and paste the content that we just copied. And we're gonna save it. I think I created a tutorial folder there. We're gonna name the map as test.json. So remember, the extension has to be .json, and we're gonna save it. So now the file saved locally, and we are going to try to open that file. And I can tell you what's gonna happen is it's gonna tell us that the tile sheet is not found, the image data, right? So we need to get the image as well. And how do we do that? So we need to go back to our map, and there's the image file, which we're gonna right click here, and we are going to save the image. Tutorial, right? Yes. And I'm gonna change it as, or I'm gonna name it as tilesheet.png. Okay, so I saved the file. So now we have the file in our computer. We are going to locate the image. So I'm gonna click on open tile sheet, or is it? Hold on. Okay, no, sorry. So you double click on it actually. And tutorial, there you go, and tile sheet. There you go. I think that's all you need to do. So if you go back to the map, and there you go. Now you can see the map that you just you were editing in, or I was editing in Mod.io locally in your computer now. And in this tool, I give you a quick guideline on how to use this. It's super simple. So first of all, you got to make sure that you have all the layers. So we have tree layer, walls layer, debris layer, floor. Oh, I'm missing a layer actually. So we're gonna add another layer. It's called floor 2. So every Mod.io games has to have 5 layers named exactly this way. So no capital letters in front, all lowercase, in this specific order. Floor, floor 2, debris, walls, and trees. So the floor layer is the bottommost, lowest depth layer. So meaning that if I draw something on a floor layer like this, let's draw like, I don't know, like some textures or whatever. And if I choose the floor 2 layer, and sorry, by the way, I use this stamp tool to draw. And if I choose the floor 2 layer, and if I draw, let's say, hey, I want to draw a carpet, for example. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. So there's a carpet. So I can actually multi-select, and I can apply the carpet, let's say, like down here. And you can see how floor 2 layer is covering on top of the floor 1 layer or floor layer, right? And same applies for trees layer. So if I was to plant a tree up here, this is going to cover both the floor 2 and the floor layer. Okay? And then the walls layer is special because when you draw a tile on walls layer, your units cannot pass the wall unless you set the body of the unit in a certain way, which I'm going to show you later in the future. But anyways, so that's the walls layer and debris layer. We can cover this later in the, you know what, let's cover it right now. You can actually add movable objects in mod using debris layer. So you choose debris and then you choose a insert tile tool and then you choose a tile. So let's say I choose a sofa. And if you click here, this object can be added in any place in the map. So I will stop here and whoops, for some reason I got like multiple tiles. So I'm gonna get rid of this guy and I'm gonna also get rid of this guy. And oh, one last thing. Your tile sheet has to be named as tile sheet complete with underscore in between. There's a lot of tiny steps that you gotta remember, but that's how things work. And I'm gonna go ahead and save it. And now, next step is to get this map data back into Mod.io. So we're gonna open our editor, and now this map data actually has been modified because of the tile that, because I saved it, and I'm gonna select it all, I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna go back to this tab. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to preserve this image file. So I'm gonna copy this, and I'm just gonna open a new text field. So I'm just gonna save this here, okay? Or in fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this image address, the file location, and I'm going to override it down here, okay? In the map data. So I'm modifying the map data, so it's using the file online. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paste it. Okay, so there you go. The image is the tile sheet PNG that's hosted in Amazon. And I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down and save it. Okay. All right, done. Take a look. So now we have the debris and the walls and everything, just like what we saw back in tiled, right? So let's try this map. So we're gonna go ahead and republish the game. And we're gonna play the game. All right, so now we're in the game. And take a look, I can actually interact with the debris. And if I was to, if I try to go past the wall, I can't because there's a wall. And the unit, now, one thing you gotta remember is your unit texture is actually in the same depth as your debris texture. So if you're to go under the tree, or if you're to go interact with the tree, you would go under the tree. However, your unit would be rendered above the floor 2 tile. Okay, and you would actually be in the same depth as the walls as well. This depth of the texture actually can be modified in the future. Like if you're to go to the script, and you can actually go ahead and modify your unit so that you can, let me quickly show you. So if you change the body type, you can actually change the depth of the unit. So right now, currently, it's at the same depth as the walls at a depth number 3. The higher you are, the more above you are to than whatever that has the lower number. And you can actually make it so that your unit doesn't have to collide with walls. So you can actually skip. So actually, you know what? Since we're talking about this, let's make it so our unit is at the trees layer. And I think the textures are at 3. So if I set it to like, let's say number 8, our unit is going to render above the trees. Let's try that. All right. So now you can see the unit is still colliding. Unit is still colliding with the debris, but unit does not collide with walls anymore because we changed the body type. Now, if I was to go to the trees, now I'm actually rendered above the trees. Okay. One last thing I want to cover is the ability to resize the maps. So in tiled, you can open the menu. Oh, okay. So it's actually like hidden outside my what do you call it? Outside my screen capturing tool. But if you're to go to map, and there's this option called resize map, you can actually change the size of the map. So right now it's 10 tiles by 10 tiles, but you can actually like extend it to, let's say, like 30 tiles by 30. And if I go OK, then the tile actually, the size actually has become bigger. It's hard to tell right now because I haven't painted it. So if I was to choose a tile and fill it, so you can see that the map has became a lot bigger. Just for the sake of practicing, I'm going to save the file again. And so now we have this new data file. I'm going to modify the file by changing the address of the image. It's right here, talksheet.png. Replace it, and I am going to upload it into mod.io, settings, paste it, and save it. Okay. And you can see that the map is a lot bigger now, 30 by 30. All right, so that covers the basics of the map editor tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.